go right on it. What is your take on really the Illinois, or what is it? Legal marijuana and gun rights. Is it true that I can't purchase a firearm if I go and purchase marijuana? Because that was the big
Yeah,
question.
that was a real big question. And when you called me, obviously there was a lot of issues and a lot of confusion as the new year clicked in. Could I, as a gun owner, walk into a marijuana dispensary and could I purchase marijuana and then still legally own a gun? Which creates, the overlap between both federal, as you know, Steve, with the federal government can be onerous at times, and the state government, which can be lax or onerous depending on how you're dealing with things.
Well, let me interrupt you just
yeah.
a second because I wanted to mention that tie that in with the difference between federal law and state law. Marijuana laws is a great example of that, but so is tax law with marijuana, right? Because as a taxing body, many of these marijuana distributors can't get bank accounts, for instance, or
they can't even open it up because of FDIC won't let them,
and they can't deduct their reasonable expenses. So this is amazing to me.
See,
So,
you ask a professional; he will know.
And this is amazing. This is amazing. But I just thought it's interesting the way these laws kind of intermingle or don't intermingle, as the case may be.
Yeah, to start from a civics perspective, we have both state and federal governments, and they overlap sometimes, and sometimes they have conflicting laws, which is what we have here. So if you go into a marijuana dispensary, you, me, anybody else has to show their driver's license or ID. It has to be scanned in so that they know you're over 21, because it's illegal for anybody under 21 to purchase or possess marijuana in any amounts. So you scan it in. It goes into a database. Now, is the state police going to come and take your FOID card away? Are they going to take your concealed carry license away? Are you going to not be able to own guns anymore? That's a question because...
Or purchase a new one.
And the reason being, when you sign off on that Form 4473, it asks if you've been addicted to marijuana or any other drugs. While the state has legalized marijuana, the federal government still has it set as a Schedule I narcotic. And on that form, it specifically says, even if marijuana has been legalized in your state, it is still an illegal drug for the federal government. Do you swear that you are not addicted to marijuana? And if you do, and you sign that, and you're lying, what does the federal government like to do? They like to prosecute you when you lie.
Yep.
So they don't really care whatever the state law is. They will take this. It's the dual sovereign issue where you've got one sovereign, which is the federal government, another sovereign, which is the state government. Federal government can sue you or prosecute you. The state government, you can be completely immune, and they can end up prosecuting under different rules. It is a felony to lie on an application, which you know from tax law.
That's my thing is there's 1,001 reasons why you shouldn't answer questions, and that's because the section 1001 that covers this.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's better sometimes, and to correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, to not file a tax return than to file a fraudulent one.
Absolutely, absolutely. But even both are a crime.
Yeah.
But one is going to be much more prosecuted than the other.
and this is kind of the issue, the catch-22 that gun owners are put into in the state of Illinois. Because under the law, the state police have said, no, we're not going to come and take your FOID card if you buy marijuana. We're one of the few states, I believe there's only one other state in the union that requires a type of registration, but Illinois is unique in the fact that it has a firearms owner's identification card, which the state police has to approve in order for you to possess weapons legally in the state. Concealed carry has a higher burden, and you have to pass more things, and you have to be trained, etc., in order to obtain that concealed carry card. So under state law, the state police have said, we're not going to come confiscate your weapons. And under the Cannabis Act, they specifically said that this database that's given to IDPFR, I used to be a boss over at IDPFR long ago when it was just IDPR. And they
tell people what that is.
Oh, I apologize. It's the Illinois Department of Professional and Financial Regulation. They essentially regulate everybody who's not an attorney. And so hairdressers, real estate agents, roofers, doctors, osteopaths, almost everybody in the state. Barbers and dentists, yes, absolutely. Cosmetologists. Yes. Everybody gets their license from IDPFR. So it goes into this database at IDPFR, and they end up saying, okay, well, this person, Jim, Steve, have both bought marijuana edibles, and so therefore we're going to come, can I come to the house? Can the state police access
Allegedly.
that? And very good. Yeah. You learned well, young Padawan. So could they come and confiscate your weapons? I mean, they've said they can't end up accessing that database, and they specifically said we can't keep a database that's accessible to anybody else but IDPFR for licensing. Steve, does that stop the federal government from doing what they want to do?
Absolutely not. But I also, someone told me that was in the dispensary business that it's anonymous. But having a database is not anonymous, right? So it's not anonymous.
You know, I've been in business now for a long time. I've worked for the government. I've seen people that work for the government. I've known people that work for the government. I don't know whether or not that's true or not.
I don't either, and that's what. But of course, that's a dispensary guy telling me because he's trying to throw water on the flames because people are concerned about this.
Well,
and people, I might buy marijuana if you don't know, but I don't want anybody tracking me and knowing that I am or
Right.
putting it out to the world.
And that's one of the reasons they made it private. They didn't want people to know where you were, or what you were buying. And it's very similar to the FOID statute. And then FOID statutes are exempt from, or the applications and the licenses are exempt from the Public Records Act. So because they don't want, obviously, to subject people to thefts or to have people break into your home because they know you or you have guns. That's, again, public policy.
Or break in your home because they know you don't.
Exactly.
Well, I'm
That's more
interested.
likely.
It works either way.
I'm interested to continue this conversation because we got to go to a commercial break here in just a second. But I'm interested to continue this conversation because this directly coincides with the red flag laws too.
It does.
It has a connection.
And the red flag laws were kind of put into place before this, but we'll talk about that when we come back.
When
on
we
a
come
commercial
back,
break.
we'll go. We're with Attorney Thomas Glassgow. Can we get a phone number for you?
Yeah, 847-577-8700.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Opum Tax Advocates is the sponsor of this show, and they're bringing this great programming that you're listening to right now. So give them a call, 312-664-6649.